us. So proud of my staff, my players, and my scout team. They did an incredible job. And as John and I talked before the game, this could end up one of the best rivalries. You know, I know Duke and Carolina's got 100 years on us, but there aren't a lot of places where two schools in state, both ranked in the top 10. He's got a very good team. I felt like they didn't shoot it very well early, but they took some of our things away, the rebounding. I thought our three keys, we had to defend the three, which we did a pretty good job up till the end. I thought we had to not turn the ball over, which we did a phenomenal job, especially for us, having 6. And then not foul. And I don't know how that ended up, but we shot the ball pretty good. We moved it pretty good. They've got a very good team that just didn't make some shots, and that's the problem with basketball. So shooting 50%, holding them to 39, especially after that 51-45 little spurt there where I think McQuaid, my best defensive player, went a little brain dead on me. And 2 mistakes in a row. We called a timeout. I thought we ironed them out. And that's what I like about my team. We've been very resilient. We listen, pay attention. We just had a lot of guys that played pretty good. So I'm pleased, but yet I have tremendous respect for the team we beat today. Questions?
Tom, you've got a few to choose from on your resume, but in this building, under the circumstances, this has to be one of your bigger wins for you, isn't it?
I think under the circumstances is the biggest win. Yeah, I really do. Go on the road, and I mean, we were, you know, we had to pick some things to choose and how we're going to defend some things because of, you know, we're constantly worried about foul trouble right now, just because of the lack of depth that we have, and I thought we did a very good job of that. And as I said, you know, this to me was one of the great team efforts. I'm talking about everybody from my doctors, trainers on up, because, you know, they were working on Aaron during the game, and, you know, we just had different guys. But when it was all said and done, probably the guy that's been scrutinized the most by me and you, Cassius Winston, was unbelievable. We just kind of kept the ball in his hands, and it didn't mean he was getting the shots, and that's what makes a guy great. He made other players better. Made some great passes inside, made some great passes outside, played defense the way we wanted it. We gave up a couple things. That goes on me, not him. So don't think he wasn't guarding. That was you know, our game plan, what we did. So I thought Cassius did an unbelievable job and deserves a lot of credit.
You mentioned Matt initially as the first player, and you kind of got into him a little bit, and then he responded. I guess you talk about the stretch after you did that.
You know what? As I tell them, I'm going to get into everybody who doesn't do what they're supposed to do, and that's just the way it is. And you know, what is great when you're coaching, when you're parenting, when you're doing anything, if someone makes a mistake, can they move on from it? Can they learn from it? Matt was unbelievable after that. And he made 2 or 3 mistakes. You know, just didn't follow things. I think part of the reason we had times when we were awfully tired, you know, and we're just not used to having to play that many minutes. They do that a little more. But boy, Matt bounced back, hit that big short jumper, and he guarded very well the rest of the way, and the defense was the difference. You know, they shot a poor percentage. They made a couple at the end, but they shot a poor percentage for the most part, and that was the difference in the game.
I know early in the season, a couple times you felt like you could tell when a poor performance was kind of coming. Did you see something in the last couple of days? I don't want to say that you knew you were going to win, but that you felt these guys a little more dialed in, kind of just, you know, really on the ball in the last 2 days?
I did, and the reason is the focus on what we were going to do. It was kind of like, it was one of those unique moments where the staff, you know, we had early staff meetings, just kind of did it a little differently. You know, we felt like we deserved some credit for our defense, and we looked at things, and we felt like our defense has been really good, and yeah, thanks. And anyway, dialed in would be a good word. I just felt like McQuaid and Cassius Winston and Kenny Goins were just, they took over some leadership, and that's kind of the cool part about it. You know, we got a long way to go yet, and we're very vulnerable because our margin for error is small, but you beat a team like this on their home court on a day like this, it was special.
Tom, would you talk about this team's mental toughness? All of these road wins now are really adding up.
Yeah, you know, it surprises me a little bit in some ways, but there again, I think what I said at the beginning of the year is true. When you have experienced guys, maybe not quite as talented of guys, but you have experienced guys, experience matters. You know, as Jay Wright said, you know, get old, stay old. You know, North Carolina, get old, stay old. You know, I guess I'm getting old, and unfortunately I'll probably stay old, but what I do doesn't matter, what the players do does, and I thought that experience has helped us in some of these road games.
Tom, can you look back at how Cassius seemed to be a playmaker early, and guys like Kenny were making shots, and he wasn't forcing his offense, but then it came to him?
Yeah, I just thought he played kind of the consummate game, you know. When he had to drive, he drove. When he had to get fouled, he got fouled. When he had to use those ball screens and get other people open, he did that. You know, we didn't break as well as we wanted to, because give them credit, they did a great job on the boards. You know, we didn't do a very good job. I think we all rebounded by 2, but they had, you know, 7, 8 points up offensive rebounds first half. I thought we were poor, and that was one of the main things we got after at halftime. But we thought we had some shots first half too. McQuaid, you know, didn't make a couple that we thought, but I thought they missed some too, and that's what happens in basketball.
Tom, I know you don't like to have injuries, obviously, but do you kind of like what it has forced your team to be or become, or the circle the wagons thing, all of that? Did you enjoy that the last couple of days after the annoyance of the injuries?
No. You know, I don't need to be an underdog anymore. You know, those days are over. I don't need to have anybody feel sorry for us. Those days are over. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. Put a jersey on a kid and he goes. You know, I don't totally agree when Mark D'Antonio, I said this, says, you know, next man up, and, you know, sometimes the next men up aren't the same as the starters, and you got to adjust to that. But I do appreciate that those seniors and juniors brought along those freshmen and sophomores. I mean, Xavier is filling a big void. I mean, we miss Nick, and the job that Nick actually got on him about gang rebounding at halftime. I had to give a double take, and I looked at him and I said, he's right. And there were things that this team has rallied together, Bob, but I miss those two guys that are out a lot.
You took time out about 15 minutes after they went up 6, and it really kind of changed the tone after that. Can you take some of that time out at all, and you just kind of made changes?
Yeah, weren't a lot of adjustments, just a lot of, you know, as I said, Matt gave up two plays, and he'd be the first to tell you, and then a bad shot. I mean, it was just 3 things in a row, so unlike him. You know, he pushes off. I mean, I don't know. He went a little brain dead on me, you know, but and that's what we talked about in there. You know, we're not going to panic now. I mean, we've proven we can play with them. Now we're not going to panic, and we talked about that, and that we had to get it back defensively, and we have to make our calling card our defense and our rebounding, and so that's when we started saying that nobody's leaking out. We're going to pound those defensive boards, and we did a better job.
Tom, just 6 assists for Michigan. I realized they weren't shooting well, but what were you doing defensively that skewed up their offense, or from what not being very proficient?
You know, I didn't realize that's all they had was 6. That's amazing. You know, I thought our turnovers was the part that was most amazing, but not to have that many. We did some things that we, you know, made them drive. They did a good job at driving, too. They got to the basket. That play out of the timeout for Iggy was phenomenal. I mean, that was brilliant. They just drove right by us to the left. Poor job on our part. But I think more we put them in positions to drive, and you don't get as many assists that way, I guess. I don't know. I didn't realize that.
Not only did Cassius Winston have the points and assists, but all 4 times. What has he shown you in terms of being able to play this expanded role? You're asking him to play right now?
You know, he was as fresh as I've seen him, and he did play good defense too, by the way. And I'm the most critical of that of anybody, but he did a good job in every act. And I kept asking him, "You tired?" And he didn't even winch on it. And I don't know, you know, I think he's proving that he is a player deserving of all the accolades he's gotten. And what's cool for me, there's been a process here. You know, and if everybody would just learn there's a process in life, I think we'd be better off, you know. I hate to say it, I agree with Charles Barkley. And I don't hate to say it, I love to say it. But everybody wants to avoid the process, you know. He had the process, tough freshman year, you know. Very good sophomore year, you know. Now he's having, so far, a great junior year, you know. But, you know, hey, Michigan didn't play as good as they've been playing. And some of it was that. We had something to do with it, but they had something to do, just like there's certain games that we didn't. So that is a very good team that'll bounce back and be very good, but I'm just proud of them.
Tom, you love leaders. Would you go as far as to say Cassius kind of put this team on his shoulders today?
You know what? You know, about a week ago, when Nick went down, I had a team meeting. I named Cassius a captain. It was a coach's decision, you know. I just felt like this is his time to step forward, and told him what responsibilities he had. And tonight I used those exact words. You got to put us on your shoulder without monopolizing the game or the ball, you know. And I thought he gave it up. I thought he did some things. And they did a hell of a job defensively, too, on him. And so, yeah, I'd say that Cassius took a giant step in the right direction. I'm really proud of what he's doing.
Got one more in back. Steven.
What were you saying where Kenny was able to get the looks he was in the first half?
Well, we did some things, a couple of their players, to give up some looks that maybe we wouldn't want to give up. And I think they did the same thing. You know, they put a lot into stopping Cassius on those ball screens and really feathered him out, and that left Kenny open. And, you know, hitting the first one was helpful, and he missed a few. But Kenny played a great game, too. He had some big time. That one rebound he got late was monster rebound. And, you know, and I thought we started making some adjustments where we got our roll man, we hit our roll man some, and we were consistently inconsistent. What I mean by that, we went to the roll, then we threw it back to the roll up guy, and we just did some different things that worked tonight. But we're going to try to enjoy this win and for one night, and then we're going to get back to work. So do me a favor and put out your blog and your Twitter, you know, give us credit for the win, but we did not conquer the world tonight. We had a good, solid win. By doing the things I think you have to win, you have to do to win big, and that the turnovers thing was big for us. They do a great job with turnovers. We do not. Tonight we did a better job. I don't know what they ended up with. 9. I mean, that was a stat. We had to stay close. We didn't even think we could win. And I thought we did a pretty good job rolling, and we put in some new things. My staff deserves a lot of credit for this win, a lot of credit, and I'm going to give it to them publicly and privately. And so does every member of our staff. You know, it's been different with Nick out, and Nick and Josh deserve some credit. They've been at every practice. They've been encouraging him. They've been talking to him. So that's it. I'll end it. If there's another one, I'll take it. But good.